Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. I'll give you guys another minute to just hop in and get settled. We are super excited to have you guys on the call today. I see tons of you joining. All right, so while you guys are joining, I want to go over a few things. So today we're going over Instagram specifically. This is an internal webinar for our team, so we want it to be as interactive as possible. So open up your chat, make sure you're submitting questions, talking to us. We want to hear from you guys. And also, I'm super excited to welcome back part of our team. So we also have Kasha on the call, who's going to be doing this with me. And then we have Melissa and Laura on the call as well. Super excited to have them back from maternity leave. So as we get started here, I just want to go over a few things. Again, utilize your chat, ask any questions that you guys have along the way. And then we're going to start with a presentation. We're going to go into a workshop. And then at the end, you guys will be able to ask questions. So you'll be able to raise your hand. We will unmute you and then you can ask questions as well. We'll be working directly in Instagram. So anything that you're stuck on, now's the time to ask it. And again, we want this to be as interactive as possible. All right, so let's get started. Get going here, there we go. Okay, so for today's presentation, we have a few different topics, and that's going to be marketing strategy. We want to talk about how you can create a winning Instagram approach. We're going to talk about content creation, ideas, and strategies to position yourself as a trusted resource. And then we're going to talk about editing. That's a big one, so how you can edit and enhance your videos for higher engagement. And then we're going to talk about insights, analyzing your Instagram data to refine your strategy. And then we'll go into a workshop and then we'll go into Q&A. All right, so the number one question and what I want you guys to understand is the importance of going into a digital space. So why should you go into a digital space? And it allows you to connect with a broader audience more quickly and easily. So think about it this way. When you post something, you can reach hundreds or even thousands of followers or audience in the matter of seconds, versus when you're going out on a traditional day of networking, you maybe meet 10, 20 people. So it's an easier and quicker way for you to reach a broader audience. So why wouldn't you do it, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how we can make it easier for you. Okay, so first we're going to talk about marketing strategy. We're going to go over content, we're going to go over captions and commenting. So first off, the number one question we get, what content should I be posting? I cannot think of anything. I run out of ideas. Here's some different things that you can use and recycle. And there's different topics that we're going to cover. And the first one's educational. So what educational content should you be posting? First up is market updates. People want to know, is now a good time to buy? What's going on with the market? A lot of people don't know when rates shift, when they, fluctuate. So it's in your best interest to kind of be that knowledgeable resource to tell them what's going on. And even with interest rates high right now, why it's still a good time to buy. So you want to give them that educational information that they need regarding the market. You also want to do mortgage FAQs. So frequently asked questions amongst first-time home buyers, people who are looking to downsize or maybe size up and refinance, people who are investors. You want to answer those questions. So think of frequently asked questions that people have, and then create that content as well. You also want to do mortgage hacks to save money. So I'm going to shout out Alan Medeiros on this one. He had a video that he posted last week, or maybe it was this week, about a mortgage hack of how you can save money. And he kind of dived into the process. And this was a great post for consumers or audience, people in your audience, to save, which you want people to do. You want people to save your posts. So Alan went over the tip that he had for consumers to save money and posted that on his page. These are always great because who doesn't like to save money, right? So if you have any tips or tricks for people to save money, that is always great content to post. And then lastly, home buying process and tips. So if you ever run out of content to post, here's what you need to do. Dissect the mortgage process from beginning to end, literally every step along the way. You can create a short form reel going over that step or that process. And if you run out of content, recycle it, start over, maybe change something a little bit. And then also before people buy, what should they be doing? And after they buy, what should they be doing? So there's tons of different topics you can cover that'll give you endless content to post and then also recycle. Okay, so the next topic is personal content. This is can be different for everybody. This doesn't mean that you have to be sharing your kids or your family. What I mean by personal is behind the scenes. So let's talk about that one first. Sharing behind the scenes of you at a meeting or you at an event, those type of business things that are behind the scenes. And that's different than day in the life, right? So a day in the life is going to be your daily routine. Maybe you wake up, you make a cup of coffee, you want to share that. Maybe you go out to coffee every morning on your way to work. So those are things a day in the life that you'll want to share as well. And this brings that personal side of your work to your Instagram page. The next one is success stories. So let's say you have a borrower that the loan just funded, they had, enormous amount of credit card debt. You help them refinance, pay off their debt, and now they're saving $500 a month. That is something you're going to want to share. Obviously, you want to stay in compliance. Don't share anyone's first and last name, those types of things, but share what's important so that other people are like, wow, I have a ton of credit card debt too. How can I do what they did and save myself $500? So those are success stories that will drive engagement that you're going to want to share on your pages. And then lastly, client testimonials. So I know that experience.com pushes those out to some of your pages now, but find other creative ways to share your client testimonials. Maybe I know some of you take pictures with your clients at closing. Maybe they want to hop on camera if they give you permission and if they're comfortable with it, and share just a video testimonial of the experience they had with you. And then you can share that to your page as well. So be creative and think of other fun ways to engage with your testimonials. All right, and the last one for content is community. So this is an important one too. I will shout out Jessie Carson on this one. She does this a lot. She's out in her local community. She's talking about things that are going on in her area. She does day in the lives as well. So want to give you a shout out, but community content is also very important if you're trying to reach the people in your sphere, right, around you in your local area. So local events. I know here, my hometown, I have a ton of local events that happen every year. I go to them, I can also network there. So just video yourself out at this event, talking with others, even taking a picture. Maybe it's with your family or friends or other colleagues. Just put that on social media and let people know what you're doing in your local community. And then next is partnerships. So this reminds me a lot of Arjun, okay? So we collaborate with Arjun a lot. He's on a lot of our calls. He comes to our events. He's someone at a different mortgage company. He's not a part of Sierra Pacific, but we collaborate with him a lot. And he's a professional, a mortgage professional just like us. So it's great to highlight those collaborations on your social media. Let people know, who you work with, who you talk with, and what you're doing out in your community. And the next is businesses. So this can be work related or it can be personal, right? If you have a favorite restaurant, share that. That's kind of that personal touch, but also community. If you have businesses that you work with in the area for like maybe your living trust or things like that, that might be valuable to your home buyers, you can share those businesses as well. And then lastly, speaking of that is guidance for home buyers. So before and after the process, what should they be doing? How should they prep themselves for the home buying process? And then after, just like I said, a living trust, maybe you let them know, hey, the first thing you should do after you buy a home is you should put that in a living trust. And I have someone that I recommend for you in this area. So those are different guidance that you can give your home buyers through social media. All right. Next hot topic is how often to post. So this was a question that came in on the survey, and we get it a lot. So look, there's no science to this. There's no like, hey, post on Thursday at 10. That's the best time to do so. There's no science. There's no best days, best times. What matters most is that you're consistent. Consistency is going to be the key for your success on Instagram and social media in general, and just for the algorithm to work in your favor. So we always say aim for 3 to 5 posts a week. Now that might be starting high for some of you, so maybe start at 2 to 4 or 1 to 3. And when you start with that number, what's most important is never do less than that. So let's say you're doing 3 to 5 posts a week and one of those is a video. You want to make sure you don't go down to 0 videos, right? You always want to stay consistent, and going in the opposite direction, you want to be posting more. So maybe it's moving from 1 video to 2 videos. So remember, consistency is key. And then quality over quantity. So you can be posting something every day of the month and it's just a static image and it's not getting you any likes, any comments, any engagement whatsoever. That is not what you want. You want quality, right? So take the time to maybe post less, but have more quality content that's going to give you the engagement, give you the likes and the comments that you want to help you gain more followers and get more leads ultimately.
Hey, Jessica.
Yes.
I want to go back to the one point of the different types of content. So Jessica mentioned personal, business, and community. Our recommendation here is you got to have a little mix of each, not just 100% business, not just 100% personal. You've got to find what is the best strategy for you. You have to be able to share a little bit about yourself. Otherwise, if you just constantly sell, think of it as, like somebody putting a do not solicit on their front door. You don't want to constantly be, sold something. So make sure you have that nice balance of personal and business. Otherwise, you probably won't see much traction if that's all you're doing. So just consider that in your marketing strategy.
Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out. I 100% agree. It's good to have a mixture and that'll help you because nobody wants to be sold all day long on things or even educated. Education's great, but you got to add some fun, personable things to your page as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next topic is going to be captions. So this was another question that came in on the survey. Great question, great topic. So captions are just important as your post. So just like your reel that you're creating, you have your hook, which is going to be where you can capture attention in the first few words. And then you have the meat of your caption, which is going to be the value, right? That's all the important information that you want people to know about that post. And then you have your call to action. So this kind of goes back to the whole salesy thing. We don't want call to actions to be salesy. Call me right now to get started. You got to twist those a little bit. So think of it this way. You don't want your call to action to be salesy, but what you want it to do is encourage engagement on your posts. So you want people to comment on your post. You want them to like your post. You want them to share your post, and you want them to save your post. So your call to action might look like save this post for later and follow me for more tips. Share this video with someone you know who's looking to purchase a home and follow me for more tips. So driving that engagement. You can also say DM me for more info. So those are the types of call to actions you should have instead of work with me today, or I'm the lender you should hire. Those type of uncomfortable, maybe salesy things that people don't want to hear. So twist that, and that will make all the difference too with your call to actions. But structure your captions like this. They don't have to be perfect. Again, there's no science. But if you break it apart, add fun things, add emojis, it just makes the presence of your caption look better and more appealing. Correct. Hold on, I think I skipped a page. Hold on, sorry. It skipped 2 pages. It had a delay. Oh no, hold on. Okay, keywords and captions. Sorry, it got all weird on me. All right, so the second part of captions I want you guys to understand is keywords. So keywords is gonna help you be discovered easier when people are searching on Instagram. So for mortgage, obviously you wanna use things like home loan, first-time home buyer, mortgage, if it's in compliance and it works correctly, interest rates, so things like that. I have an example here that we just posted. It was a renting versus owning post. So I made sure to use those keywords. And I basically replicated what we were talking about in the video in my caption, but broke it apart into sections, added emojis, and made it look more presentable. And as you can see, the ones that I've highlighted in a yellow box, those are more of the keywords. So renting, owning, home ownership. So use these and really go into full depth into your captions. Some things to note, I mean, a short caption isn't bad, but just make sure it's powerful. And then a long caption can be, people can get over it, reading through it. So just make sure it's appropriate too with the length. All right, don't skip on me. Yay. Okay. Then we're going to talk about commenting. So I really want to talk about what Chelsea Pite said on our last social media university with her. She said less contenting and more commenting. And this couldn't be more accurate. The algorithm it doesn't matter how much you're posting, but what matters is how much you're engaging and commenting on other people's posts, how much people are commenting on your posts. So let's talk about engagement. You want to focus on engaging with followers in the comments and direct messages. So you want to drive comments to your posts and you want to drive DMs to your inbox, and that'll help. Every time you get a DM and you're talking to people in your DMs, you're going to see their posts and they're going to see yours. Same thing with commenting. When they're commenting on your post, they're going to start to see your posts in their feed, and vice versa. You want to go and comment on other people's posts, and then you're going to start to see their posts in your feed as well. So all of that will help the algorithm. So don't just post, be active, be engaged in social media, because just posting isn't really going to get you where you want to be. It might help a little bit, but that end goal, that where we all want to be, that's not going to get you there. And then responses. You want to make sure that you're responding to every single comment that comes in on your posts and in your DMs. Now, even if someone comments on your post and just does like a thumbs up emoji, still respond back with another emoji or something else. You always want to make sure you're responding, because that, again, is going to help the algorithm. So just be super interactive and engaged on your social media, and that will definitely help.
One thing I would add to commenting is like, give yourself a challenge, at least comment on 10 people's posts a day, right?
Yeah.
Say, give yourself a number and go comment on 10 different posts. And then engage in at least, I know our June's rule was 10 as well. So if people are commenting on your post, engage with at least the first top 10 people that are engaging with your post. So set a limit and stick to it, and you'll definitely see more engagement, and then Instagram will reward you with a better algorithm. So
absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Setting the 10 rule, right? Jump in there and do 10 a day, and then up that too, make it 20. Whenever I hop into Instagram and our business one, and it's like our June's always commenting on everyone's stuff, and that goes a long way. So be that person that's going in and giving kudos to people, commenting, resharing, even if it's people in our company, people outside the company. Just make sure you're commenting and being interactive, because it will definitely help you. Okay. Best part, content creation. Let's talk about actually creating the content. We're going to talk about resource, formats, and execution. So resource, you need to position yourself as a knowledgeable resource for consumers. And you can do that by sharing valuable insights related to mortgage, home buying, and financial tips. So again, dissect the mortgage process, break it down into tons of different little short films that you can do, and break it down for the average consumer, the first-time home buyer, and educate them and give them valuable insights of what they need to know, because this is the biggest purchase they may make in their lifetime. So break it down for them and share that valuable education with them. And then education, demonstrate that you are a go-to resource for home information. So think about it this way. At first, it might be uncomfortable, right? Because you're posting these new videos, you're educating, and you're like, well, what if people don't agree with what I'm saying? They think I'm wrong. But it doesn't matter. Well, you guys are really good at your job. You are knowledgeable loan officers. What you have to say matters, and the right people will resonate with you. They will follow you. They will ask you for more information. But it takes time. You can't just post a video or two and then expect to have that trust with them. So education and consistency continue for a month, 2 months, and then you will really see that engagement pour through, and they're going to start to build that trust with you, and they're going to start asking you more questions. So it takes time, and remember to be consistent. It's not just going to happen right off the bat. You got to stay consistent with it. Okay, so different formats that you can post. Number one is a carousel. These are those posts where you can swipe and there's multiple images and you can kind of read through the post. These are actually the number one trending thing on Instagram right now. I think they're tons of fun, and it's a great way to have engagement on your posts. So when people swipe through your entire carousel, you get the algorithm to kind of work in your favor just by someone swiping through your carousel. So those are super fun. If you're able to create those are a lot of fun to post and just kind of get the information you need in multiple slides. The second way is reels and stories. So again, this is for short form content, behind the scenes, and quick tips. Reels, we're obviously talking about a lot, but also stories, they last for about 24 hours. And this is what you can kind of do for behind the scenes. Like, okay, I'm making a cup of coffee, or hey, I'm on my way to meet so-and-so for their closing, things like that. And then the last way is through a live. So this is where you can jump on live. It'll notify a handful of people on Instagram that you're live. And these are for those longer, deeper conversations on certain topics. Okay, let's talk about execution. How do you execute? You can do so by recording in Instagram, which we're going to cover today in the workshop. You can use the built-in app to record your video or take pictures, or like some of you have professional cameras, or your phone. If you have an iPhone, they are like professional cameras. I do all my recording on an iPhone 15. So that's really all you need is an iPhone, maybe a microphone and a ring light. So I was going to talk about accessories. You will want to at least try to get a microphone because it enhances your audio, but then also a ring light just to kind of bring that good lighting in, and it makes your video more attractive. So there's different ways that you can do it. There's no right or wrong way to do so. You can record it in Instagram. I know several people that do it. It's whatever works for you. Okay, and let's talk about editing. We're going to talk about why editing matters, the tools for editing, and the power of captions and graphics. So why does editing matter? Some of you are like, oh, it takes too long. Why does it matter? It has a big impact. Well-edited videos and photos stand out and will catch people's attention. And then engaging edits like B-roll, graphics, and captions will increase that viewer retention. So some of you are like, well, what's B-roll? B-roll is going to be, let's say where I'm talking and I'm talking about a first-time home buyer and a couple who's moving into a house, and it might have a video of a couple moving into a house over me. So it's showing the video of the couple, but I'm talking in the background. That is called B-roll. And then graphics is obviously those different things that'll come in behind you, around you, and then captions as well. We all know captions, and I'll go over that a little bit more here in a second. Okay, let's talk about tools for editing. So how do we edit? How do we get this done? You can do so by using the Shredded app. So that's an app you can download on your phone. You can pay for a subscription based on how many videos you want to do a month. And it's a quick and easy way for you to submit a video and get it back within 48 hours. It'll have B-roll, captions, and graphics. Or if you're like, no, that's not really for me, you have some options where you can do it on your own. You can download CapCut for $10 a month. They have a subscription that gives you comprehensive editing with some advanced features. So you can add in your own B-roll, your own captions and graphics. You would just kind of have to play around in there and get familiar with it. It is really user-friendly. So I will say it's not that complicated. It just takes time. And then also the Captions app, $10 a month. It's literally called the Captions app. You can download that, and they do it off of AI. And it does everything for you. You import your video. You can customize your captions to be whatever color, whatever font, whatever look and feel. If you want them to move, if you want them to just stay there, they have a ton of different options. And it's all AI generated. It takes maybe a couple minutes to get captions on your video. I would say if nothing else, at least do the cap. That's most important. And we're going to talk about that right now. So the power of captions and graphics. So why do you need captions? Because 90% of people watch Instagram videos are watching with the sound off. And it might be weird. You're like, that's kind of weird. But think about it. When you're in an office setting where you don't want everyone to hear your volume on your phone, you probably have it off. I know at night when I'm laying with my kids, I kind of want the volume down, right? I have it off. So 90% of videos are watched without sound on. So that's why it's so important to add captions so people can read through your video. The second thing is graphics and B-roll. So this will kind of add that personal touch through visual elements. So you want your content to be more dynamic and engaging, and incorporating graphics and B-roll will definitely add that touch to your video. Okay, last part before we get into the workshop is going to be Instagram insights. So I want you guys to understand, first of all, what are the insights? Why is it important to track the insights? Which ones you should be paying attention to, and then how to use them. So why do insights matter? Instagram Analytics helps you understand what's working and what's not working. It'll give you a full rundown, which we're going to go into the app and I'll show you here in a second, but it gives you a full rundown of everything you need to know to analyze about your posts. And then you can use this data to refine your content strategy for maximum impact, right? You can kind of refine what you're doing to grow your audience even more and grow that engagement. Okay, so which insights should you be tracking? There's a ton in there, but here are the four most important ones. So engagement rate. How often are people liking, commenting, and sharing your posts? Second one is reach and impressions. How many people are seeing your content and how often are they looking at it? Follower demographics. Know your audience. What is the age, gender, location? And then you can tailor your content to that demographic. Now, some of you might have a broad demographic, and that's okay. So just kind of see what works, what's performing the best. And then lastly is your top posts. Same thing, you want to identify which posts are driving the most engagement. So we too on our page, we have a handful of posts that are performing way better than the other ones. So we want to go in and dissect, well, what did we do different on those? And then we can take those key aspects and bring it into our future content that we're creating. All right, so let's dive in. I am going to transfer to sharing on my phone.
So one thing I want to add, Jessica, back to the different editing tools. So the Shredded app is an app offered by Josh Pitts. If you guys are familiar, he was on one of our social media universities a couple months back. He does have a pretty nifty app that we partnered with him. If you're interested, I believe there is still a discount code. So let us know if you are, we can send that to you. And email the marketing inbox for that.
Okay. Yes, let us know if you need any, any resources, any help. And then of course, we're gonna get to questions too. So if you guys have any additional questions at the end here after this workshop, we can go into those as well.
Jalen, reach out to us about the discount code and we'll figure out what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I have our corporate Instagram open. I'm going to kind of just show you guys and navigate through the app and then show you a few different things. This will be engaging, so I want you all to please open up your phone, go to Instagram, follow along. We're going to be doing some things together. So get your phones out, hop on Instagram. Okay, so first things first, what are all the buttons at the bottom? Some people, for the beginners that may not know, I want to make sure I cover that. So the house at the bottom left-hand corner, that is going to be kind of like your dashboard, your main page, and it's also called your feed, right? So you can scroll up and everything in here is in your feed. These are different people's posts that you follow, and then also people you don't follow who they're recommending for you to follow. So this will be your feed. The next one is going to be the search. So this is where you can search for people. You can search, let's say let's search mortgage. Oop, if I can spell it right. And then what happens is when you search mortgage, when it wants to load, everything mortgage related will pop up into your search engine. So this again, discoverability, like we talked about in your captions, this is where it matters. So people will go in here, they'll put in the keywords, and then if you have a keyword, you'll pop up in here. So that's why that matters. And then the next plus button at the lower, or on the bottom menu, you guys, the plus button, this is going to be where you can add a post, you can add a reel, a story, or a live. So you can change it at the bottom where it says post, story, reel, or live. And we're going to go into that in a minute. So I'm exiting out for right now, but we'll go back into that here in a second. The next one is a little video button. That's going to be your Reels page. So click on that. I will go ahead and mute it. This is just all of your different Reels that are going to pop up. Now, mostly these are people you're not following. So this is recommendations. But different videos will pop in here. And again, it's all based on the algorithm. And then lastly, the bottom right-hand corner, this is going to be, okay, hold on. This is going to be your profile. So again, this is what people see when they go to your profile. This is what it looks like. This is what they'll see. They will not see where it says like professional dashboard. That's all just kind of insights for you. But this is what they will see when they visit your page. All right, so let's talk about insights. That's where we left off. The top right-hand corner, the 3 lines, you're going to click on that. Now you'll scroll down and see where it says for professionals. First of all, I want to just note that all of you should have a business page. Okay, you can have a personal page, and it depends if you want to have it together or separate. But even if it's together, switch your account type to a business page. because it's going to give you these insights and these key metrics that you need to be successful. And there's 3 different types of pages. There's personal, there's a business, and there's a creator account. So I recommend having a creator account. Business and creator are the same exact thing, but creator will give you more insights because you're creating content and you want to analyze that. So I recommend using the creator account. And how you would switch it is you would click on creator tools and controls, and then you scroll down and switch account type. And then at first you're going to click on business, but then you can have the option to do the creator. Okay, so work on that first. If you guys have questions too, let us know, but work on switching it to a creator account. Trust me, it's worth it. Then you're going to click on insights. And this is why it's worth it. So you'll be able to kind of analyze everything. So where it says the last 7 days at the top left, I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to switch just to the last 30 days. You can do whatever you're looking at. If you're doing week by week, month by month, whatever, however you're analyzing your data, you can change that date. Go ahead and click update, top right-hand corner. And then it kind of gives you a basic overview of the last 30 days. But then underneath it, it says content you shared. And it's going to give you a breakdown of every post, every story that you've done. So I'm going to go ahead and click on see all. And then it says all in the top left-hand corner. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to change it to reels because that's what we've been posting a lot of. And I want to get an idea of what content's working and what's not. So I'm going to click on Amanda's video that she did. And this was one of our higher performing videos. And it got 14 likes, 4 comments, 4 shares. The little paper airplane is the share button. And then the last like little ribbon button, that's a save. You got 0 saves. Those 2 actually matter a lot. So you do want to get people to share your video, but also save your video. So as you're scrolling down, it'll give you a basic overview, how many views you got, total watch time, total interactions, and profile activity. But the next one is pretty interesting. It's views. So 432 views, 23% followers, 76% non-followers. And again, that's the power of social media. So 76.8% of these followers, or these people, these views, were not our followers. And so we're reaching more than just the people who are following us. So that one is important. Always kind of look at that one. And it should be more non-followers than followers, right? Because that's the goal. And then if you scroll down, you can look at like the days. So views over time, what day did it perform the best? Typically, what I've heard is that in the first 7 minutes is when it's going to perform the best because Instagram pushes it to everybody's feed, and that's when it's going to get the most interactions. I would say usually within the first couple hours of your post is when you're going to get the most engagement on it. So it's really important to just, after you post, maybe stay on, see if people are commenting, comment back. You engaging too in that first 7 minutes or first couple hours will also matter. As you scroll down, it says top sources of views. So recommendations, that's again, that Reels page that I showed you guys where all the different Reels were. That is kind of a recommendation page. So it's recommending our Reel in different people's accounts. So that is the algorithm working in our favor. Reshares, that is going to be the paper airplane button. That's how many times, let's say I watch a video and I'm like, Kasha, this video is so cool, and I share it with her. That's a share. So we want people to share our videos. And then feed, just, the regular feed, the home, the little house button, that was our dashboard. That is the regular feed of how many times people saw it in the feed. And then profile, meaning, hey, I went to Kasha's profile and I saw this post. So someone going to our actual profile. You can look at the total watch time, interactions. So all of this, there's a ton of different metrics that you can look at. So kind of look at these and dissect, okay, what's working, what's not working. I did want to show you one other thing, this next post here. This got less views, but it got more likes. So you kind of have to look at everything, see, what was working, what wasn't working. Maybe, just because it has less likes, but more views, it doesn't mean it didn't really work out. So just kind of analyze. And again, break apart, well, what did we do in these 2 videos that we didn't do in the other ones? And then dissect that. So that way, when you're creating your content this week or next week, you know what was working. And I also want to note that that can change. What's working today may not work in 6 months. So you constantly have to be staying with it and analyzing your metrics and insights within Instagram. Okay, so hopefully everyone has their phone out because we're going to do something together. I want you guys to hit the plus button at the bottom of your screen And I want you to go over to story, and we are all going to post a story together. Okay. So go ahead and just record. You can take a picture, record yourself, whatever you want, just a short little snip of what you're doing. And then go ahead and maybe write something. And then if you guys can please tag us, because I think that would be super cool if we just had a flood of stories coming in on our feed. So tag us in it as well. I'm on the corporate page. So, and let me show you guys how I did this too. So at the top, the little smiley face with a square, you can mention someone, the little @ mention. Again, I'm on the corporate page, so I'm going to do my marketing account, and I'll just put that there. And then go hit your story at the bottom, and it will post. So if you guys can all do that, tag us. I would absolutely love that. And then we just walk through how to post a story. That's exactly it. All you do is hit the plus button. You can take a picture. You can record whatever you're doing and post it. It's as simple as that. I mean, people take a picture of their coffee. People take a picture of their desk. I mean, just connect with people, engage with people, let people know what you're doing. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to hit the plus button again. You guys don't have to follow along for this one if you don't want to, but I'm going to go over how to upload a reel. Now we're going to do this 2 separate ways. The first way is going to be a reel that's already edited and done that you did through your camera, and maybe you hired Shred It or you did some editing on your own. Okay, so you'll hit the plus button at the bottom where it says post. You're going to actually go over to reel. And then I recorded some videos this morning, so don't mind the excessive videos. I'm going to do Jennifer's because hers was recently edited. Okay, so it's already done. I've already added my music. I've already added, Shred It did all the editing for us. So I'm going to hit next. And this is where you could do additional editing, which we'll get into in a minute. But again, all my editing is done. So I'm going to hit next again at the bottom right-hand corner. And then this is where we can add in our caption. We can edit our cover photo. So add in caption. This is where you would drop in your caption that you've created, or you can type it out here. So caption here. Oh my goodness. All right, the next one is edit cover. So this is super important, and I want you guys to understand why. So when you edit your cover, this is going to be what appears on your profile. So when someone goes to your profile, this little square image is going to be what they see. So you want it to be readable. And why does it need to be readable? So when someone goes to your profile, they want to, or they should understand what your video is about before they even click on it. And Chelsea talked about that in her webinar as well. Having your profile be readable will only help the engagement on your posts as well. So what you can do is you can add from the camera roll down at the bottom, or you can use this little slide bar here, and you can choose a clip from your video. So Shred It already did it for us, and they added text at the beginning. So what I will do is go over to profile grid at the top, and then I can adjust this. Again, this is the little square I was talking about. You want to make sure it kind of looks centered and aesthetically pleasing. So get it where you want it, and then hit done at the top right-hand corner. And then that part of it's done. You would have already dropped in your caption, so that's good. Next, we're going to talk about tagging people. There are 2 different options. You can tag someone, which will essentially just tag them in the post. We all have a tag spot on our pages, but it's not on our feed. But you can tag them, and it just basically means that they're a part of that post. But if you invite to collaborate, so if you are like, let's say Kasha and I are making a video, and I want this video to be on my page, but I also want it to be on her page. I can invite her to be a collaborator. And if she accepts, again, what it means is that her username will be added to the reel, and it will be shared with her followers and my followers, and it'll show on both of our profiles. So this is a great way to reach more people, right? So immediately I think of the Denise Lott team. I think you guys are on. If you guys are doing a video together or I know you guys do fun videos, record that video, invite each other to be a collaborator, and it'll go on all of your guys' pages, and it'll even reach more people and get more engagement. So definitely utilize the collaboration tool in here. We do it on all of ours. So Jennifer was the one who created this. So I'm going to make sure I invite her to be a collaborator. Okay. And I'm going to take it off just for the next part of my training here. So next we're gonna go to more options. And the reason I took it off, so if you try to schedule your reel, for some reason it won't let you do so if you have someone invited as a collaborator. So that's why I took it off. But you can schedule your reels directly within the app, and you would do so by toggling on, and then you can choose the date and the time that you want it to go out. So you can utilize that. If you have a third-party scheduling tool, that works great as well. You can use Buffer, you can use Loomly. Those are some other third-party sites that you can use for scheduling. That way you're not having to go into LinkedIn, go into Instagram, and go into every different social media site to post it, and it'll post across the board. The next one, upload at highest quality. I always have that on. It's on automatically. And then I don't usually let people use my reel as a template. That's toggled off. But I do hide the like count on the reel. And the reason is, I like to say I don't want people to judge the book, based on its cover. So if someone's looking at my reel and like, oh, they got 1 like or 2 likes, they're kind of judging the reel, right? And they're like, maybe I won't watch it because it's got 1 or 2 likes. So I usually turn that off because I don't want people to just not watch my reel based on the likes. So you can turn that one off, and then download your reels. That's usually always toggled on. It's totally up to you if you want people to download your reels off of Instagram or not. Okay, so from there, you are ready to share. So you can hit that share blue button when you are done with everything. But I'm going to go back, and now we are going to do this one more time, and we are going to share a reel by recording in the app. And this will be kind of the last part before we open it up for Q&A. So let's say we want to record directly in the app. We would hit reel at the bottom, and you're going to hit camera, top left-hand corner. And let's say we're out at an event and we want to get different clips of the event, right? So let's say it's like, okay, here's my clip 1. I'm going to hit the record button. Okay, and then I want to do clip number 2. And I just want to move my screen like that. Now let's say I want to do clip number 3, like that. So Instagram allows you to stop and to start. Oops. Allows you to stop and to start. So that's one of the benefits of using Instagram, is that you don't have to like pause in between and maybe do that in editing later. So you can stop and start through the camera app in Instagram. So once you have all your clips recorded, you'll hit next. And then it'll show you your video. Come on. Okay, it's not wanting to move for me. But this is where you can edit. So say your video is here, you recorded it, you can swipe up to edit. There it goes. And this is where you can add your audio, and you can also add your text. So see where it says tap to add audio. I would tap there, and then the music board is going to come up. Okay, and this is all the different music that Instagram offers. And you can kind of scroll through. So these are some things that are recommended for me, but you can also use the search at the top and search for a specific song that you want. One thing I do want to say in here is if you see a song, see where it says original audio right there, and there's a little arrow up, that means it's a trending audio. And so trending audios typically help you in the algorithm because it's trending. It's going to push to more people's pages. So those are always fun and helpful to use as well to get more engagement on your posts. One downfall of using Instagram audio is that in 2, 3, 6 months, they may take that audio off of Instagram, leaving your post with no audio. So you'll still be able to, if you're talking on your video, it'll still leave that. But as far as the music, it'll remove that audio. So typically what we do for corporate is we use CapCut. And then in CapCut, they have audio that's, it's not, you don't have any copyright issues. So you can use the audio in CapCut. It's usually instrumental. You can add it to the background of your videos. And then we upload our videos with the audio already there. So totally up to you. You can also add text. So you'd click on add text. And let's just say I want to add in some text. All right. And let's say I want this to only appear at a certain point of my video. So you can use these yellow margins here to say, okay, I only want it to go, maybe that long. And you can adjust it and kind of edit it how you want to. You can also add multiple different fields of text depending on which part you want it to go. And then you just hit the blue arrow button at the top right-hand corner, and then you're back at that same screen that we already went over where you can add your captions, edit your cover, and share your reel. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of here. All right, last thing I want to show you guys, I'm going to open up for Q&A. I'm going to go to Chelsea's as an example. I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about readability again. So if you look at her page, do you see how easy it is to read her page and read her different posts and understand what she's talking about before you even open the post? That is readability, and it is very important, and her page just has a whole aesthetic. So you want to stay on brand, and it really represents her brand. So as far as readability, that's why those cover images are so important, because you want it to showcase what you're talking about before someone opens your video, okay? And the next thing I want to show you is an example of a carousel post like we talked about earlier. So if you look at these posts, you'll notice the top three. In the top right-hand corner, they have a little pin. So Instagram allows you to pin up to 3 posts. And these are going to be anything like your most important, maybe an introduction to who you are, maybe your top performing post. Like I had one reel of my daughter that got, I think, like 600,000 views. So I pinned it, right? It's my most engaging reel. So I pinned it to the top of my profile. So you can do that as well. Those are going to be the first 3 that anyone sees when they visit your page. Okay, and then as you see the second row there, there's either going to be a little reel icon at the top right, or there's going to be an images one, like that third post over. That tells you what kind of content it is. What format is it? A reel or is it a carousel? So I'm going to click on the carousel just so you guys can see what that looks like. The first piece is usually an introduction to what you're talking about, and then you can scroll through and you can get the different information through every slide. Now it needs to be fun, needs to be engaging, and you want people to scroll through the entire carousel because again, that'll help you and have the algorithm work in your favor. Okay, so I think we're ready to open it up to questions. So if anyone wants to raise their hand, I'll stay in the Instagram app and excited to see what kind of questions you guys have. Is Melissa still on?
She should be. If anybody wants to speak up, raise your hand and we'll unmute you.
Okay.
Oh, yes, I'm still here.
Okay, cool. I'm reading Jalen's, go back and edit text on a pinned and profile page. Yeah, so for cover images too, you guys can go back and you can edit any cover images that you have currently. So if you have any, they're like, oh, that's not really readable on my page, go back and update those, change them to make sense for the brand, for your page, and just help that readability on your page. Hold on, let me get back into it. Any other questions that you guys see in the chat that I need to go over?
It's not really a question, but I will say, I can't remember who posted it, but if you're trying to find other loan officers from Sierra Pacific, I think now's a good opportunity. Go ahead and drop your guys' handles into the chat, because I think following one another and seeing what's working well is good. Like Chris Graves does a fantastic job. Jesse, Alan, Kendall, I've seen great posts from all of you. So I didn't have a good answer in terms of like a shared hashtag to find each other. Obviously, we would love you to tag Sierra Pacific Mortgage. But right now, go ahead, drop your handles into the chat specifically for Instagram and go ahead and follow one another.
Yes, definitely follow each other. And I always recommend like each other's stuff, comment, share. That's only going to help all of us grow. Typically on all the posts that we're doing, we do hashtag Sierra Pacific along with multiple other hashtags. So feel free to use that. But there's no set hashtag. But definitely follow each other, collaborate with each other. That is super important. I also want to, based off that topic, I also wanted to recommend go to other mortgage professionals that are content creators like Arjun. There's Brand, the Mortgage Man. He is a great one to follow. And then there was also, let me go back to my search here. If you type in mortgage, I don't know if this guy will pop up for you guys. Hopefully he pops up now that I'm doing it. This guy. He, the Mortgage Kitchen, he has 464,000 followers and his content is amazing. So Brand, the Mortgage Man and the Mortgage Kitchen, check out their stuff, look at what they're doing, and don't be afraid to take some ideas from them and then twist it to make it your own. Everything is going to be your own, right? Because you're unique and you're making it, but go to their pages, get ideas. If they're talking about a really important topic, you're like, ooh, I like that. go ahead and take it and spin it to be yours. So don't be afraid to browse around and look at other people's content for inspiration. Any other questions you guys see in the chat?
There is one from Lori that just came in, and it's probably open to the group. So if anybody wants to even raise their hand and respond, it's talking about those who use Instagram regularly. And how many leads are you actually getting that are turning into loans through social media? I'm not sure if anybody can respond to that. Some success they're seeing, or taglines that are driving success for them. Obviously, our corporate account's gonna have a different strategy than what you guys are doing as loan officers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and if you guys remember, Arjun mentioned it's a long end game. So you have to be committed for 6, 9 months, maybe even a year. So you can't expect leads immediately. So you have to put in the work. So this is definitely a marketing strategy. You know, you need to figure out if this is for you. And if you are, you've got to commit. You can't just show up occasionally, because then it's never going to really work for you. So that's why we're trying to give you all the tips and tools so you can figure out if this is an area for you to really engage in.
Mallory just said I get about 30 to 40% of my leads from Instagram. So there you guys go. That's
yeah,
awesome.
And Denise, I just allowed you to talk. So if you wanted to share anything as well, please go ahead. I can see it's trying to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, while we're waiting, maybe she can jump in. But yeah, that right there tells you guys that it works. It just takes time. You have to be consistent. I know Mallory and her team post regularly. They're always on social media. So, and I've seen a ton of you starting this process. So don't get discouraged if in a month from now it's still not getting you what you want, because it's going to take time. Just stick at it. And again, always start somewhere. Never go back. So if you start with 1 video a week, don't go back to 0 and keep doing that 1 video a week. And I promise you guys, eventually it's going to turn into something, because people are going to be watching and they're going to be coming to you with any mortgage questions that they have.
Is it working?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, okay, awesome. So I've actually had a ton of luck with the social media posting on my end. Ended up getting my first $1 million contract off of my Instagram post alone. Couple from a totally different state found me on Instagram. They were watching my videos for a couple weeks. They reached out to me through my DMs, and I sent them the link to my application. So like, it's definitely a huge, awesome place. But the best thing that I can say is exactly what Jessica says. Show people that like you're not afraid to be goofy. If you're super approachable and people can like reach out to you, talk to you, you're kind of one of their friends already. They have no reservations about just like shooting you a quick DM or having a casual conversation, because it doesn't feel like you're signing up for something, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I think that's great. I 100% agree with that. You definitely need to show your goofy side. We're all unique, right? We all have our unique personality. And so you need to show that. There's no difference between you going out in public and talking to people and showing up on camera. Be that same person. Be silly, be goofy, be fun. Just be your unique self, and people will resonate with you. And we're our own worst critics, right? I usually don't go back and watch my videos. I used to be that way when I first got started. And I'd analyze it. Oh, I don't like the way I said that, or I don't like the way I looked at this one part, or whatever it is. Don't do that. Just hop on camera and think of it as an everyday conversation that you're having with another, real estate agent, mortgage professional. Maybe it's a client. Just pretend you're talking to a client, and that's all it has to be. You don't have to overanalyze all of the, the recording and how I look and all of that. It doesn't matter, because people are going to see you the same as they see you in person. It's just you're your own worst critic.
I think Jalen has her hand up. Jalen, did you want to speak?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you guys could show us how to do the editing, because I've YouTubed it after Chelsea did that video, and I just can't for any life of me, for whatever reason, figure out how I can go back and add the captions to the already done videos that are there.
Okay, so yeah, you can edit it. So I'll click on this renting versus owning. Top right hand corner, there's 3 little dots. You're going to click on that, and then you can click on edit. And then from here, you can edit your caption. And then you can also edit your cover. So you click on cover. This is where you can go in and edit your cover, add from camera roll, or you can adjust from the actual video and then hit done. And then you would just hit done again and it will save. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Yay. Yeah, I recommend doing that, you guys, because maybe you weren't paying attention to it when you were originally posting. So go back in and edit this because look, I mean, it really does make a difference if your page is readable, aesthetically pleasing, it's on brand. You want everything to kind of be cohesive. So definitely go back in and do that. Highly recommend. All right. Any other questions you guys see? Okay. Well, again, if you guys have any questions at any time, please feel free to reach out to us. We are your marketing team. We're here to support you and give you the resources you need to succeed. This will be the last social media university for this year, but we will be resuming next year and we'll have one in Q1. So we'll keep you updated. We're, diving in to see who we can have online with us and who we can have join for our social media universities to make this so impactful for you guys. We just all want to see you guys win on social media and really make the most of it. So again, thank you guys for coming. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us.
And make sure you guys follow everybody.
Yes, that too. Thank you guys.
Thank you, everyone.